following material may contain sex, coarse language, and violence.
Of course! Of course!
Law. Let's start with the cops, which is the first thing you're gonna need to know in the city. First of all, most are now called lawmen, since their ambit covers a lot more than an old-school city beat. The lawmen of the time of the Red are organized as they were during the 20th century. Homicide, vice, burglary, traffic squads, 5 men each. The most recent addition to the police organization has been the Cyber Psycho Squad, also known as the Psycho Squad, whose main job it is to deal with cybernetic criminals. While the average beat cop hits the street in an armored squad car, wearing an armor jacket, helmet, carrying a smart-chipped Minami 10 sidearm, the Psycho Squad detail employs aerogyros, AV-4s, miniguns, assault weapons, and Stinger missiles. City cops patrol all areas of Night City. Corporate cops are deputized to patrol only corporate facilities. However, in areas where a large number of office areas are huddled together, this effectively can turn into an entire downtown region of corporate cop territory. Corporate cops are usually better armed and armored, and often have full trauma team medical coverage. They are also more vicious, sadistic, and likely to shoot first. After all, they know the corporation can cover up any incidents. There are also lawmen on the open highways as well. Since a lot of newly reclaimed cities don't have police forces set up yet, these wandering marshals are more like range-riding Wyatt Earps of the Old West, hard-writing, fast-shooting, part of why they're colloquially all lumped together into the Old Western Roaring Twenties tag of lawmen. Skyrocketing crime rates in the 1990s have proved the existing legal structure was falling apart. Following the purge of 1996, when citizens groups lynched hundreds of criminal defense lawyers, the government declared martial law throughout the United States for a period of 3 years. During this time, justice was dispensed by local military courts. The U.S. government looked to military regulations to replace the laws that had previously governed the nation. As a result, the Military Justice Code became the main rule of the U.S. law. The code's draconian standards of crime and punishment served so well in the eyes of those in power that when martial law was suspended, the government established the Uniform Civilian Justice Code in its place. Some loosening of restrictions was seen in the early 2020s, but in the aftermath of the Fourth Corporate War, the Uniform Civilian Justice Code is once again the law of the land. Even Night City, which isn't part of the new United States, still bases what laws it actually has on the Uniform Civilian Justice Code. Of course, how much of the laws get enforced depends entirely on what part of the city you're in, and what your annual income is. Funny how no matter how harsh the laws get, the rich still manage to get away with murder, sometimes literally. If theft is defined as taking something that isn't yours, there's a lot of thieving going on in Night City. Too much to account for. Stealing gets you food when you're starving, weapons when you're under attack, safe places when you're living in a dumpster, and money to pay other people to cover you when you're not powerful enough to do it for yourself. If the lawmen really buckled down and tried to bust every single person in Night City who stole something, they'd be at it 24/7, and there just aren't enough lawmen out there for that. No, in general, the street deals with theft in its own way. If you get caught, the only question becomes how bad can the victim mess you up. Sometimes, you just get a beating. Sometimes, you get hunted down like a dog and flat out killed, assuming the victim doesn't fit in a bit of torture just for laughs before they kill you. If you steal from a corp, chances are you'll just end up back on the street with your frontal lobes burned out, or parted out to the local body bank. These things have a way of working out long before any lawman comes on the scene. Fraud. Between the bunco rackets and scams, the confidence schemes and creative bookkeeping, fraud is a way of life on the street. But remember that if your corp finds out that their new exec is cooking the books or stealing under the table, you're going to only wish you were dead. The corps are actually pretty legal about these things. they'll hand what's left of you to the authorities. Eventually. Assuming you get lucky and stand trial for what the street considers to be a non-issue, you'll be lucky to get off with a little electroflogging, long-term exile, or a year or two of brain dance. Just saying. Theoretically, narcotics may not be possessed within the premises of the United States. However, bioengineered plant diseases developed through the 1990s by the Drug Enforcement Agency wiped out 96% of the cocoa and opium plants in existence, making the point moot. The law also does not cover designer drugs, such as endorphins, which are defined as medicinal. Besides, you're in Night City. It's not part of the United States anymore, Choomba. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. In the time of the Red, there's not much difference between rape and other physical assaults, at least as far as the street sees it. If you can't take vengeance on your attacker yourself, there's plenty of solos and other guns for hire who will gladly find you some street justice. Most of the time, there's no trial other than what you and your allies can put together. Although the laws will usually take a hand if you ask them. They figure some scav who harms others is probably going to move up to even more heinous crimes sooner or later. So they might as well slam their ass into a cell on the way to a legally sanctioned punishment now. On the other hand, don't even think about assaulting or raping a nomad. They usually just drag you behind the nearest vehicle until you're a hamburger. You don't even want to guess where they tie the rope. Self-defense is defined as any instance in which the assailant can show just cause that his or her life or the life of another party was threatened in circumstances where a duly appointed officer of the law could not be summoned, or where it was impossible to restrain the injured party by any other means. There's a lot of murder on the street. Sometimes the lawmen get involved. Sometimes you can get someone to investigate someone else's murder. But in general, if you have a weapon, and they have a weapon, the street considers it self-defense, and whoever died probably deserved it. Nailed for a crime? The punishment for criminal actions under the Uniform Justice Code of 1999 are swift, certain, and draconian. Plea bargaining has been eliminated. Probation is almost unheard of. The death penalty is standard for murder cases. There is a 3-month appeal process during which new evidence can be produced. Most felonies have a mandatory prison terms, 5 to 10 years. Lesser crimes are covered by a number of unpleasant forms of punishment that make prison sound pretty good.
Hey, you! Yeah, I'm talking to you! Sitting there, fat and happy at your table. I wouldn't if I were in your shoes. One day it's all fun and games, but it's only a matter of time until the cabal of technocrats decide your jokes are equal to the worst crimes on the books. See how many rights you have then? Count them on one hand. The corporals act like powerful arbiters of right and wrong, deciding guilt before proof, punishment before defense, and you're all slaves to their unstoppable will. Sound far-fetched? Go on the net, have an unpopular opinion, tell everyone who you are. I dare you, I double dare you. We need another martyr.
Right, so you both saw the fallout, so it's no need to go over that. It's about a week later. Maybe 2 weeks, I don't really care. You have had to move out of your little basement because redevelopment in that area is constant, and basically a bunch of very heavily armed people wanted to make that their home, and you were like, too much effort. We'll just take our stuff and we'll leave.
Also, it wasn't protected by Sebastian, that area. It wasn't owned by him.
It would have been probably temporarily protected while he was there.
So, you have been offered a chance to move to a little area in Watson. Currently occupied it's just this little cul-de-sac of a street, and in the midst of some reconstruction buildings that were then deconstructed by a block war. Mainly occupied by Maelstrom. And you're sort of being live there temporarily as a sort of an entente, if you will. So you have like a little basement there where you've tucked your new refrigerator full of stuff and your other things. Jess has gone out for a day with her input. It's actually disturbing seeing it from the inside. And that's where she is, leaving you three, up to your own devices.
Victor and our two favoritist people.
Perhaps 4, I don't know who else is here. So, how do we avoid this place?
You don't. It's temporary.
Yeah.
Your favourite from JoJo and Grimes if they're still alive after the
You're doing it too now.
Yeah.
Look, when I want my snot taken care of, I need to see. I don't want to be fumbling for round fruit.
I mean, there is that whole thing that Jess's girlfriend did get a bunch of them killed as well. I assume they're just glossing over that. She was indiscriminate.
They were NPCs.
They didn't even have a name. Okay, is there a telly?
Yeah, that'd be a basic telly.
Oh yeah, so Roger will be watching the telly.
Electropop. More popular than rock ever was, or even better. You be the judge.
Neither of those. It's corporate, overproduced.
The latest from
bollocks.
Japan is cartoon girls going nya. Observe. Rainbows. Meanwhile, the stock market still doesn't exist. Over to Bill with the stocks. A skeleton cobweb.
I have something to show you.
Zip.
Oh, please. Look, you've got a girlfriend.
She's digital. She can't handle me in the way you can.
I've got some crumpet that shows up now and then.
Listen, you can be my roadie anytime. No, Roger. You can be mine.
I found something you might want to take a look at. I'll be sitting at the terminal. So.
Oh, right. Pull myself up out of my chair and go over and then sort of lean on the chair. You'll sit there.
Interactive braindance. All actions are now possible in braindance, including death.
Okay, now
You never want to show that to your first.
There we go. Operational and Dawn. Classified code word only. Distribution. D open bracket.
I wouldn't worry about the jargon at the start.
Oh, okay. Archive edition neon. Then there's 3 stars. Paratech convoy job lodged with Fixer. Instructions script. We want Idrid Hargraves. He's a good runner and we know people who worked with him before. Says he's Nova solid. That girl whose input went crazy, better than average tech skills and will work for whatever she can get. Oh, there's a 3-part act like Roger and the Solos. They like striking at the stinking corpos. Get them. If there are any further questions, add. They've done jobs like this before with other crews. I want experience but not a solid crew. What might try to cut us out? The job, a Paratech convoy loaded with valuable dimmer switches is hidden through the Biotechnica Reserve near Pacifica Playground. It will be out of coverage for 15 minutes at Pinnacle Rock. The crew should strike there and hijack the truck. Deliver whatever you want. Then you get another driver to deliver it to my garage in Watson. Convoy LNSXR will be loaded with self-sealing stem bolts, labels as dimmer switches. So if this goes very sideways, we won't lose that rare and valuable cargo. Knowing a plan the crew will use, we can prepare a double squad of our security elites dressed up as Paratech trash to ambush him, kill Solos, leave Roger wound Graves, leave a girl frightened but with no lasting damage. Offset up CL and Son for central plan. So what do you suggest we do?
Well, I found this.
Well, you've already done it.
I found that buried amidst some other files on a chip that was stored along with the blue chip for transport. I pocketed it away. I thought you might want to know because it involves your friends.
Yeah, my former friends.
We know it was a set-up from the start now. Probably by Militech. Give it
Of course it's bloody. It'd be some corpo or corpo-linked fucker.
Well, we found it in their own information dump, so
Those wankers.
thought you might want to know. I can't find any links to anyone concrete we can go at for that, but
Bathroom door opens. Victor comes out from the shower wrapped in various layers of towels.
evening.
Revenge is a dish best served cold.
Revenge gets you killed.
Dig 2 graves then. It is a pun, or play on words.
Yeah. Very nice. I like it.
Very macabre.
Macabre. Stole my fucking joke. Motherfucker. I was going to use that for town guards in Serendia. It is very macabre. It's macabre.
The other files themselves were quite interesting as well, but I don't think there's anything we can do with them, but our current benefactor might. But we'll have to wait for the next drop.
Oh, Sebastian. What?
Nothing. You said you wished I would pay more attention to you. I am paying attention to you.
Oh, thank you. So, how's your girlfriend going?
Has there been any changes in the last couple of weeks?
No contact.
I haven't heard from her since the combat zone.
Perhaps you should buy her flowers.
Digital flowers, maybe.
Is there another kind?
Well, you can't get
Once.
real ones. Not unless you're something you ain't telling me. Hey, what's... That's mighty suspicious. Do you see how suspicious he looked there?
Inform me how suspicious it is.
Very sus.
She goes like...
You're hiding something.
We all have our secrets.
Haydn has been dead for over 200 years.
Well, yeah, that one.
But maybe I will tell you one day. It's nothing that concerns you right now. nor will it endanger you.
Look, I'm sick of bloody people telling me what and what doesn't concern me at any given point. I'm the one who bloody decides that.
Fine,
Yes.
Roger. I was a corpo. And not just some lower level wannabe, as you put it.
So you were one of those fuckers who was messing up the place.
You could
Because
say
you all just wanted some more eddies. Can't get enough of them eddies. You've got to have more and more and more. It doesn't matter who you tread on and who you kick down into the gutter more.
quite. It takes a lot of eddies to get off this filthy rock.
Oh, and you want to get back up in there? Is that what this is?
I don't even think that's a possibility anymore.
Would you want it to be?
I would be lying if I said no.
So you want to be one of those people who's causing all the problems in Nice City?
Who knows if it would have turned out that way.
I need a drink. Get up and go to the fridge.
What are you getting, Roger?
Hey, I was only forbidden from drinking during
No one's
that.
released you.
He hasn't said the code word and done the thing.
In fact, I believe Victor even had a conversation with someone about, like, I'm
wait,
supposed
I
to
roll
release him from the thing, but I think it's better for him to not.
I roll a 10, isn't it, for this?
Oh yeah, they're D10s. I need to get my D10s out. I'll use this one because
what
it's the
I
closest
taste
one to
it
a red
all.
D10 I have, apart from this one here that is actually literally a red D10.
Probably intelligence.
Oh, I forgot how to support
That's only a 9.
What about?
So Roger opens the fridge and then goes, "Oh, a beer," and grabs it.
Roger,
What?
you are about to drink a beer.
Oh, you want one? Here you go. You're supposed to catch it, love.
I did.
Oh, good catch.
With
That's
the tight
impressive.
towel wrap, this is. I've seen it on TikTok. This is possible.
I saw a chick who did. I don't know what it was on because it was so far ago. Who opened the beer from her tits,
Yeah,
Masterful.
jammed the twist out.
that's fucking wife material. And of course, because it's that way up, now you have to clean them.
I'll grab another one.
Have you forgotten
Forgotten what?
the disastrous punishment which awaits you if you drink?
That was for that last job. That
No.
was weeks ago now.
You know best, Roger.
Nothing happens from just smelling it.
Nope.
Graves goes to just pretend typing on the...
Okay. You're in incredible pain.
Ah! I'm bloody fuck! Oh God! Oh dear!
I warned him.
You did?
I told him twice.
Will he be okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Bloody hell! Well, you have to drink this now.
I would rather not.
Well, it's going to go away. You're going to waste a beer.
It was already a waste to produce it.
We're going to have 2, aren't you?
Very well.
I'll need some drugs then. Got them all out.
Good.
This is your bloody fault.
My fault. How?
Because you're a bloody corpo.
That
And
has
it's
nothing
taking
to
all
do
my
with it.
strength not for me not to punch you in the bloody gob.
Would that make you feel any better?
Yeah, it would.
No. Never mind then.
You weren't expecting that, were you?
So uncivilized.
You are living in a bombed-out ruin.
True. I have not forgotten that.
I can't even remember if Vector knows your girlfriend is an insubstantial
Yeah.
ephemeral.
She does.
Good.
But she also still knows what you tried or thought about doing to her a couple of weeks ago.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's almost like that's a monstrous thing to do.
I mean,
But you are a Cyberpunk character, so
Yeah.
like I don't fucking care.
it's only a 4 on the scale.
And he means out of 400.
I've worked out how to calculate your humanity. It's pretty complex. You take your humanity score and you add a 0 to it. End of calculation. And your cybernetics can't exceed that.
Okay.
But since you're using jumpstart characters,
We
it's
don't
apparently
have
not
that.
relevant.
Fuck yeah.
Broken ass.
So, I wonder how her date's going.
Hopefully well. Would be nice for something good to happen for someone.
Yeah, no, her crumpet's a little, you know.
Insane.
I was going to word it a little more politely, but sure, we'll go with that since you brought it up.
You brought it up.
Well, I mean, you were more specific.
I finished your sentence.
think there we go.
Making us cute.
That is adorable. What?
I feel I am being the victim of a joke.
Sort of, but in a nice way. So, what's your plans?
Oh, I don't know. All this lying low on the network's no fun. It's too dangerous to go out looking in that way.
Why do you not re-engage your Z-chat and troll the tards on the forums?
I rather like the operating temperature of my brain to remain at, a nice level up.
Why do you not get good, scrub?
It seems like the people looking for me are maybe a touch above.
You could always go back to trying to be a corpo and then you don't have to use that noggin at all.
Oh, incorrect, Roger. It requires a great deal of mental dexterity to remain alive in the cutthroat corporate world.
Does it now?
Yes.
On top of that, Maria had me edge running a little on the side. And I specialised in the security of our company, so I was always on the forefront of danger.
Were you selling your own company's secrets?
No, rather protecting.
How noble of you.
I wouldn't say noble. Our success was the key to getting me into the Crystal Palace.
And what then?
I don't know from there, we never got that far.
So you had aspirations for something that you didn't even know what the outcome was going to be.
Well, I wasn't the CEO, that was my father.
Oh, la-di-da. And you've fallen out of Daddy's good books, or did he cark it at some point? Due to some up-and-coming, ambitious young go-getter?
One shot, Graves. It would only take one shot.
One opportunity. Will you
Mother-
catch it or let it slip?
Yo.
Mother spaghetti.
There we go.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Roger, you should use the bathroom. It has been. I have never witnessed it since you last showered.
Have we got a water for that?
Yes.
All right, in. I'll go take a shower.
She left it in grip mode.
grit mode?
It dispenses grit
Like
that
sand
that you rub down with and then towel off.
A good old FUD.
Go take a shower.
Well, just us.
Yes.
How awkward for you.
Quite.
You do not have anything to fear from me. I am not so petty.
I can't apologize for what I said,
You do not need to.
but know that it would not go down so well if I were to try that plan. So you have nothing to fear from me. Of course, beyond the fact that you could just cut me in half.
Given that I am made 100% out of premium grade cyberware, I am sure I would not make the distance had you your cyberdeck to hand.
Well, it is always...
To hand. Expect outrage.
What?
3, 2, 1.
Oh, what the bloody hell's done? Bloody sand coming out of it. What the? Bloody set this to. Oh, that's better. Get that bloody Jess for this.
Well, given our current situation, what's your tactical assessment on looking for work?
Contact a fixer. Take job, do job, get paid. Tactically simple.
I mean, more do you think it's wise? Normally I would talk with Jess about this first, but...
You have not appeared in the news sources for at least 3 days. Public attention span is usually less than a week. No one knows what any of you but Roger looks like. If he was to wear a hat, it should be fine.
It is possible whoever destroyed our apartment thought we died in the blast.
Furthermore, it is also considered that Roger did not commit a crime. Which will not stop Militech from hunting you, but was that any different before Edward?
No. Why did it have to be Militech?
Because Militech is an aggressive pursuer of Night City, and as they are an extension of the new United States, of course it had to be Militech.
The first corporate enemy I've had that I didn't think we might be able to bring down. Even had Gravecorp not gone under.
Such an unfortunate name for a food producer.
Yeah, yes. I never did convince Grandfather to change it. They were supposed to be my golden ticket.
If it is any consolation, it would not have ended any other way.
Well, that is no consolation, but what could have been?
What now for Edward Hargraves? Following Roger into the rocker lifestyle. Learning to play an instrument.
Oh, I hope not.
Spitting all the fury and hatred you feel towards the betrayal of your life system into your lyrics.
Maybe not.
Or perhaps cyber sabotage and terrorism.
That sounds a little more my style.
What would you have even done had you ever gotten into space?
I'll expand the company. I'm sure Maria would have had me inadvertently helping a lot of people from up there. She did have me establish a lot of things that did good.
I believe that you should follow the example of your female friend. Yes. Leave the apartment, the basement. Go out into the world. Find a woman, Edward. Insert your penis into it.
I'd rather not.
Find a man, then.
I'm sure all that has nothing to do with it.
You should still leave. It does not do you well to be cooped up in this place.
You are right on that one. Maybe cash money has something for us.
Yes.
I will leave the bathroom freshly cleaned.
There, you see. Now all we must do is convince him to launder his clothing, and he will not be so offensive.
I'm gonna bloody launder my clothing. I actually have changed into fresh clothing. Well,
And how many different fresh clothing do you have? You are not a Mongol warrior upon the steppes who can simply put a new layer on over top and let the old rot away underneath.
That's disgusting.
They did not think so. Of course, they
Well,
only
they
lived
were
to
wrong.
about 28. I wonder if there is a connection.
Likely.
I have one more set of clothes, and then that's it.
You could always wear the dress Edward bought in a vague attempt to fit me into something female.
No, I couldn't.
I still think you would look good in that.
It is too tight.
All the better. What? I'm not
I am
allowed
going
to
to-
appreciate form and function.
I am going to get dressed.
Of course.
Oh, we're going somewhere.
Yes. Slam.
Oh well, I have got contingency for this. I'll go over to a drawer and then pull out a mustache.
You have a mustache!
No, he doesn't here, and this explains why he now has the mustache.
Because it's a fake mustache.
You know, if you just didn't want the mustache, I don't have to put it on. It required extra steps to put a mustache
No,
on.
we built the character and then added the mustache. So I'm like, now
He's responsible
Yeah.
for all of that.
now
I did
Roger,
nothing.
this is now why Roger has that mustache, because
Okay.
what you
Victor
can't tell
comes
it's
out.
me,
Victor
right?
comes out in her armor, Jack.
Mm.
Just stops. She looks between you, him. Robo cops out her gun. Who are you, and what have you done with Roger? Wink.
Oh, see, she gets it.
Now that's good.
What about you? You're just going to go out like that? People will recognise you.
No. First, he will customarily and habitually run a lint brush over his clothing. Then he will put on that golden trench coat that I think is garish, but he thinks is snappy.
Hey. That is snappy.
Then he will check his hair in the mirror, move 2 paces away, and go back and check in a slightly different manner.
I still think you should get Yes to put glowing writing on the back of that trench coat that says "Rob and murder me," because that's what that bloody gold coat basically says when you wear it.
He should not do that. That will only encourage people to rob and murder him.